Dollar, dollar, dollar. Dirt on money, no soul. Had to go and get it, ain't no time to kick it. Got a stack and flip for my foes. Dollar, 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 dollar. Please tell me you can hear me. Don't turn your back and don't neglect me. Just let me know if you need me. Dollar, 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 dollar. Let me watch out for my partners. Keep my money long, get my team strong. Let me run away from my problems.
Yup, what's good, original crew, man? We're back.
We need to calm down.
Why? Dang, that's not.
Let me see.
Why you don't know? Like,
What do the
I'm saying, why you like when I be laughing, I get caught choked up. Why you don't get choked up?
I'm not like
Why?
I get a little. Please don't.
What?
I get a little choked, but not like you. I feel like you be holding your breath, like you don't know
No,
how to laugh.
no.
Okay, babe, come on.
Bro, after the sickness, bro, we done got issues, some inhalers, bro, because I have, after the sickness, I don't know what's going on with my breathing, but it's hard, bro. All right, today's,
Okay, babe.
on today's segment with Mr. Ball, Mr. Baller, bro. Oh, shit. Today's episode, the stunning consequences of 3 small choices that changed everything. I was gonna get it out, bro. Like, let me
You need to calm down.
chill. All right. Man, then my chest be hurting afterwards, bro. Butterfly Effects episode 2, man.
Okay.
Hey, with that being said, we're gonna go ahead and get into it. Make sure you check out the links in the description box.
Down below.
You already know where to go. If you want to first support, all you got to do is check out down below. Also, if you enjoyed today's visuals.
Lock it in with a thumbs up.
And no, I don't have asthma. For those who might be wondering. I've never had a problem with breathing until now.
Well, sorry.
What you gonna say?
Nothing, let's go.
No, what you about to say? Ain't never...
I said, well, technically.
What? Technically what? Oh, why? Because I snore? That ain't got nothing to do with nothing.
I mean, that is a breathing problem.
That's not a breathing problem. You the one. Let's not talk about sleeping.
I don't breathe. I mean, I breathe, but I don't snore.
Yeah, you do. You do. I've heard you. Yes,
I've
yes,
never
you
heard
do.
that before. Man, let's get into this video.
Let's go, man. Let's check it out. Let's see what it's about. Sorry, y'all.
Hey guys, before we begin, I want to let you know that later in this video, I'm going to be making a major announcement. So you want to stick around for that. I'll give you a hint. New content. Pretty good, okay? As for today's videos, we're actually going to try something new. I'm going to tell you 3 stories about real people who had something totally unexpected and insane happen to them, think like stranger than fiction, that type of thing, that not only changed their lives, but also changed the lives of millions of other people too. Now, these stories are kind of a slight departure from what is normal on this channel. We know that, so please let us know in the comments what you think about this series. If you enjoy it, we will do more of them. But before we get into those stories, if you're a fan of the strange, dark, and mysterious delivered in story format, then you've come to the right place because that's all we do, and we upload once a week. So if that's of interest to you, please sneak into the like button's house and replace all of their very expensive, nice knives in their butcher's block with plastic knives. Also, please subscribe to our channel and turn on all notifications so you don't miss any of our weekly uploads. Okay, let's get into today's stories. One late night in the summer of 1974, a 30-year-old man named Fred stood inside of a loud casino in Las Vegas, feeling incredibly nervous. He knew what he was about to do was a horrible idea. In fact, he didn't even know if he had the guts to try it. Fred grabbed a huge wad of cash out of his pocket, and as he looked at it, he thought about the reason he was here. So Fred had actually flown to Las Vegas on a whim after a bad meeting with a group of investors. So Fred had founded this small company 3 years earlier, and he really needed a loan from these investors, but they had said no. Fred had actually already lost over $13 million to this point, and so the investors said, look, like your track record is not good enough. We're not giving you any more money. And this was a huge problem for Fred, because right now, in all of his company accounts, he had a total of $5,000. And at a minimum, he needed to pay his fuel bill for his company, which was $24,000. And that bill was due soon, so he didn't have enough money to cover it. And besides the fuel bill, he also didn't have any money to make payroll. So basically, Fred did not have any more money. And if he didn't find a way to find more money, he would have to file for bankruptcy, shut his business down, and lay off all of his employees. And so Fred really couldn't think of a worse fate here. He totally believed in this company. I mean, this was his baby. He'd invested all of his inheritance into it. Now it was about to collapse, unless he got really, really lucky. All around him in the casino, Fred could see gamblers hunched over slot machines and over poker tables and blackjack tables, and some people looked elated, like they were having the time of their lives. And many other people looked like they were maybe having the worst time of their lives and were on the brink of tears. Fred didn't know if he'd be celebrating or sobbing by the end of this night. All he knew is he was out of options here. He could either do nothing and just kind of accept his fate, that his business was doomed and would have to be shut down, or he could do what he was doing tonight, which was to basically take what little cash he had and put it on a game of chance, basically gamble the money he had in hopes of winning enough money to keep his business going a little bit longer. And so after taking a calming breath, Fred began walking over to a blackjack table because someone had told him that of all the games you could play in a Las Vegas casino, the game with the best odds was blackjack. Fred chose a table with an open seat. He exchanged all his cash for chips while he prayed that he was making the right choice here.
You said, have I?
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm actually good at blackjack, you know what I'm saying? I can count the cards. What?
I said no. I said, oh.
You don't know how to count cards? No, a little bit, you know what I'm saying?
He exchanged all his cash for chips while he prayed that he was making the right choice here. And then Fred began to play. For the first few hands, Fred was pretty cautious, only placing small bets. But he won all those small bets, and it kind of emboldened him. And so he began placing larger bets, and he began winning those bets too. And in fact, it got to the point where he was winning so consistently that a crowd of strangers had formed behind the table just to watch Fred. But Fred wasn't even aware of the crowd behind him. He was so focused on every single hand. I mean, for him, this was like his life he was gambling with. Then eventually he got to a place where he had like a mountain of chips in front of him, and he was gambling huge sums of it all at once. And then eventually, when he had this big mountain of chips in front of him, Fred decided this was it. He was gonna double down and go all in. And so he puts all these chips out and he waits, and eventually the dealer flips over their cards. And as soon as they did, the crowd around Fred, who he hadn't even noticed to this point, erupted in cheers because Fred had just won. And when the dealer pushed all the chips back over to him and he got to count how much money he had, he realized he had started with $5,000, but now had $27,000. He had gambled and won. $27,000 was just enough to pay that fuel bill and keep his company running a little bit longer. So basically exactly what Fred had hoped for had happened. And then during this extra time that Fred had basically won himself, he was able to secure $11 million in investor funding, which was enough money to finally scale up this small business into the behemoth that we know it as today. Fred went from being a guy betting his last chips at a casino to now being a multi-billionaire.
Shut up!
Fred's full name is Fred Smith, and that little company that he scaled up on a gamble was FedEx.
Shut up, Fred. You better cut up.
That man. That man still be in Memphis donating a lot of money, bro.
Shut up, Fred.
He donates a lot of money.
That's what's up.
I used to work for FedEx. I done had a lot of jobs, y'all.
That's what's up.
I had a plethora of jobs, but I ain't gonna hold you. I actually like when I worked at FedEx. I did like hard jobs at FedEx. And
yeah.
Honestly, I did almost everything in a FedEx warehouse. So.
But you actually enjoyed the job.
Yeah. Like I was actually dope. I like the problem I had was management. I had a lot of issues with like And it wasn't even like direct management you deal with every day. It was like the upper management. Those are the people I was having an issue with. You know what I'm saying? And we was in college, and what it was like our supervisors, our managers, they were actually college students too, and they were people we kicked it with. And at that time, I was DJing a lot, and people used to book me to DJ their parties. So, like, even my managers and stuff, like, people, like, honestly, other managers will book me for parties. Yeah. One of the operation managers I ended up getting into with, he was trying to book me to be his DJ his wedding.
Yeah.
Because he was like, because he would ask me a lot of questions. He was like, well, you available? I ain't gonna hold you. At the time, I was very much a black DJ. So, you know what I'm saying? A black DJ. And he was a white guy. And I was like, I don't know if I can get jiggy with you. I don't do no country. I don't do straight. You know what I'm saying? So I don't know if I can get jiggy with it. But yeah, me and him, he the one fired me and really went into it with him. I told him, I threw my badge at him and everything. Like, me and him really got to it. But to this in there, FedEx, it's a great company, though. I ain't gonna hold you, bro. And he does a lot of great charitable work. Mm-hmm. And to hear, like, sometimes you do got to take the gamble on yourself. Yeah. That's all this is
because, like, it's like one of those things, like, I don't know if I'm going to be able to do this. I don't know if I'm going to be able to make ends meet. I don't know if I'm going to have to shut my company down.
Tables, bro.
Like, I am about to take a chance, a gamble, technically, like, literally on myself. And it's either it's going to work or it's not.
And look at him now. Even though FedEx, they as a corporation, they have their ups and downs, but I don't think, like, while he's alive, I don't think he'll let it fold. Now, from working at the company and just see how everything operates and see the competition level, he himself is not going to allow it to fail. I can't say what it'll be like once he's, you know what I'm saying, like, if he's not able to, as he gets older, to hold on to the company, or he is no longer here, and who then gets a hold of the company and how it transitions from there. But I know why he's here. I doubt the company fails. Just hearing about that story, he's willing to do whatever it takes to make sure that the company continues to succeed. Like, even my this dude I used to work with in college, his dad, cause I was like, man. It was a white dude. He was like, yeah, I'm from Memphis. I said, oh, you from Memphis? He was like, yeah. I met him up here going to school. And he was like, yeah, I'm from Germantown. My dad fly planes for FedEx. I said, oh, motherfucker, you rich. Because, you know what I'm saying, dad fly planes for FedEx. Yeah. So I was like, oh, yeah. He was like, well, we're a little well. I hate when rich people be like, well, we're a little well. No, motherfucker, you rich. But that's a great-ass success story, bro.
The company that he scaled up on a gamble was FedEx. One evening in the late 1980s, a man in his 20s named Norm walked into a house party in the Hollywood Hills, which is a very exclusive and pricey neighborhood in Los Angeles, California. In this house, which was filled with people, there were all these actors and entertainers and Hollywood-type people, and Norm, who was this kind of scruffy guy with long stringy hair and who had no experience in the entertainment industry, knew he did not fit in here at all. In fact, Norm never would have been at a party like this if not for what had happened to him just a few hours earlier. So that afternoon, Norm had gotten into a fight with his boss at the motorcycle shop where he worked. Now, Norm and his boss never got along, but they managed to coexist for the most part, except today, this small argument had turned into a huge argument that turned into Norm getting fired. And so after getting fired, Norm left the shop and just began aimlessly walking around Los Angeles until he wound up running into one of his friends. And over the course of this conversation where Norm's like, yeah, I got fired, not doing too good, the friend was like, oh, well, tonight there's gonna be this big party up in the Hollywood Hills. Why don't you come along? And Norm, who was feeling admittedly pretty down after being fired, decided, you know what the heck? I'll go to this party because maybe that will boost my spirits. And so now here he was. And so Norm went and found his friend in the house party, And for a little while, the party was pretty great. I mean, Norm felt kind of uncomfortable, didn't really know anybody. It was kind of awkward, but it was fine. Him and his friend were drinking and chatting, and his friend was introducing him to some people, and it was all good. Except Norm just couldn't shake the anger he felt about getting fired. Not only at the fact that he was now unemployed, which was a huge problem, but he also just felt mad at his boss. Like, how dare his boss do this to him? And so to cope with this, Norm just began drinking really heavily, like way more than anybody else at this party. And before long, Norm was completely plastered drunk. But it would turn out, getting totally smashed did not calm Norm down. In fact, if anything, it only made him more blind with rage about what had happened to him. And so naturally what he did is he departs his friend and pushes through the crowd of people, and he goes up to the second floor where there was this balcony that overlooked where basically everybody in the house was. And Norm, who's slurring his speech and he's totally a mess, he screams out to the crowd of these people that he doesn't even know, these Hollywood people, basically screams at them to stop what they're doing and listen to him. And everyone did. They turned around and looked up at this guy like, what's going on here? And Norm just begins delivering this totally angry rant that kind of didn't even make any sense. I mean, he's drunk, but he's basically ranting about how mad he is and this horrible injustice that's been done to him, and just on and on. He's just pouring out all of his emotions, and everybody's just kind of looking at him like, what is going on here? It was like a train wreck, They couldn't look away. Eventually, Norman finished up his big, rambling, humiliating speech, and he stepped away from the railing, and everybody down below who, had been wrapped to this point, but now was kind of like, whatever. They went back to the party, and Norm just stood up there kind of taking in the scene, and suddenly he felt a tap on his shoulder. And he turned around and he saw there was this person he didn't recognize, and this person says to Norm, "Hey, have you ever considered acting in a play?" It would turn out that person was a Hollywood producer, and they were putting on a play in LA. And they really liked Norm's look, the whole kind of scruffy vibe, but even more as they watched him deliver that totally angry, drunken rant that he managed to get all these people to listen to, that it was obvious he had natural charisma and he could command an audience even when the audience had no idea what he was talking about. And so ultimately, this producer literally offered Norm an acting job, and Norm, who really didn't have aspirations to be an actor, but now needed a job because he had just been fired that day, he's unemployed, he agreed. He said, "Okay, I'll act in your play." And so Norman would act in this play, and he would do such a good job, despite the fact that he totally was not an actor. He literally was a drunk guy at a party who randomly got recognized by some producer. But regardless, he acts in this play, and he is such a natural and does such a good job that he gets noticed by other Hollywood producers and casting directors. And before long, he lands his starring role in the mega hit TV show, The Walking Dead. Norm's full name is Norman Reedus.
Whoa. I never knew his actual real name. But now since you say this drunken rage and everything, I'm like, I can envision it and see it. Just seeing how he is, the scruffy, the hard, and the biker thing and all that. I'm like, it made freaking sense, bro. I never knew his real name. Great actor, though. He can make the... Bro, that's how a lot of success stories are, right?
Yeah.
A lot of people fall into doing things a lot of times because they're down on their luck.
Yeah.
People fail to realize how many people have been in the same shoes somebody watching this right now has been in, right? They lose a job and they literally have nothing but time to give it all or whatever they, you know what I'm saying? Honestly, just with him, it was just a friend told him, "Hey, you're going to pick me up. Let's go to this party.
Party.
You need something to
take your mind off of things."
Yeah. He just couldn't take his mind off of it. And him not taking his mind off of it led him into something more successful than he probably...
that you never even
envisioned
for yourself.
Bro, you know how many people, you know what I'm saying? Like Doshi.
That's fake. It happens like that.
It happens a lot. Honestly, that's basically how we started, coming to YouTube. And how are we some of the most successful people on YouTube? No, but I feel like we have achieved some type of success, you know what I'm saying, with it. Because I would have never envisioned myself doing this. Literally, I got fired from a job. It tore me the fuck up. You know what I'm saying? Because like financially, I'm bringing in a lot of money at the time for us, for where we were in life. I'm like, bro, this is a lot of money, bro. Like I can see myself really doing this. And then I'm like, boom, one day get bonds out of nowhere, you get fired from a job. I call you, we ball crying because I'm like, damn, what the fuck? Like, what's else out there?
Mm-hmm.
And some just said, yo, give YouTube a shot. And I ain't know what the hell I was doing. I just said, F it, let's give it a try. I ain't got no job. I got some money saved up to get us by for a little while. But I was just like, shit, I don't know. C was like, we gonna be straight. Like, and I was like, all right, I'm gonna give myself a month at this YouTube thing. It was working a little bit. Didn't know what it was gonna do. But I started back putting in applications. It took me literally 3 months to get monetized on YouTube. And we've been up ever since. And it continued to go up. Like, it's not one of these. It's been one of these, but it's been an upward. Like, no matter what. It hasn't been a drop off ever since, you know? Mm-hmm. And that's, sometimes you need, like, see more inspiration stories to let you know, like, yeah, everything ain't a upward slope. You just got to keep treading the path. And you never know when that small slope will turn into a big upward slope. And you really take off. Everybody's timing is different.
Yeah.
But just because you might feel that you at your bottom, that could be your starting point to the top. Mm-hmm. Damn, bro, that's dope, though. I'm happy to see that he was able to achieve great success, though.
Thanks.
One evening in the late winter of 1973, a 23-year-old mother named Tabby put her 8-month-old son and 2-year-old daughter down for their naps inside of their double-wide trailer, which was parked in a small town in New England. Once her kids fell asleep, Tabby looked over at the clock. She was waiting for her husband to get home from his job as a high school teacher, and he was running late. Tabby wondered, what could be holding up her husband, and she certainly hoped he was okay, but she couldn't just call the high school to ask how he was doing because they didn't own a landline phone. They literally didn't have enough money to afford a landline phone in their trailer. In fact, they basically only had enough money to barely make ends meet. So Tabby and her husband actually had dreams of becoming professional writers. But they had found over the past few years that breaking into writing at this time in America was nearly impossible. They had gotten a few stories published here and there, but, for the most part, the only thing their writing had gotten them was a whole bunch of rejection. And so as a result of this, both of them had taken day jobs to basically supplement the income that was not being generated from writing. Tabby was home with the kids, and then in the evening would work some shifts at a Dunkin' Donuts. And then her husband, in addition to being a teacher, also worked at a laundromat. But even with their 3 jobs combined, they barely made any money. Now, Tabby still held on to hope that, maybe one day she could break in and be a professional writer and have that be her primary income. But her husband, who also, had the same dream, was over time becoming increasingly more pessimistic about his opportunity to, one day just be a writer. He sort of felt like this truly was impossible, that they'd struggle forever and he wouldn't become a writer. Tabby walked to the tiny laundry room in the back of their trailer to switch their clothes from the washer to the dryer. So this room, the laundry room, actually doubled as her husband's office. And as soon as she walked back there, she saw his desk was a total mess. All around his typewriter, which sat right in the middle of the table, were all these empty beer cans and food wrappers and rejection letters from various magazines and publications. And the trash can next to the table on the ground was overflowing with crumpled up pieces of paper. Feeling very annoyed by this mess, Tabby reached down to tie up the trash bag to take it outside. But as she went to do that, she happened to glance at one of these crumpled up pieces of paper in the trash, and she skimmed a couple of sentences that were written on it, that were typed on this paper. And as soon as she did, she stopped because there was something really interesting about this writing. Now, she knew her husband had written whatever was on this page, but generally speaking, her husband always shared with her anything he had written, and she would read everything. And there was something about this text that she knew she had not read it before. Like, this was different. Clearly he wrote it, but she had not seen this before. And so she was curious. So she pulled the paper out of the trash can and smoothed it off, and actually began reading what turned out to be this failed manuscript that her husband had thrown away. And she couldn't believe how good it was. And so it dawned on Tabby that clearly her husband had been working on this in secret, which made her wonder, like, one, why are you doing that? Why are you hiding this particular thing from me when you let me read everything else? And two, again, this is so good. Why is it crumpled up and in the trash? Just then, Tabby heard the front door of the trailer open and her husband come inside. And so Tabby just took the page she was reading and walked out of the laundry room, and she held it up to her husband and she was like, "What is this? Why haven't you shown me this?" And to Tabby's surprise, her husband, when he realized what she was holding, just looked totally embarrassed, like he wished she hadn't seen that. And she said to him, "No, like, this is so good. What's going on here?" And her husband would tell her, "Look, like, I started writing this thing, I didn't really know what it was going to become, but I quickly realized that I don't know enough about the subject matter, and, I'm just not talented enough to finish the story, and even if I was, like, this is too weird, it's too out there, no one would publish this." And so ultimately, he had just thrown it away and not told Tabby. And in fact, he went on to tell Tabby that in addition to this being a failed project, he really understood at this point in his career that he was a failed writer. And right now, what he really needed to do was give up writing altogether and just focus on making money for the family, something they desperately needed. Tabby could see her husband was completely serious. And so she just held up this piece of paper and she said, "No, this is the one. This is the one that's gonna help you break through. I know it. And you know what? Even if you don't know the subject matter, I do. I can help you with that. And together, we can make this a full-length novel. You gotta see it through. It's too good not to." And so, at Tabby's insistence, that's what her husband did. He would spend several months working with Tabby to finish this novel, and by the spring of 1974, it was done. And so, that same spring, they began shopping the manuscript around to different publishers, really having no idea how anybody was going to react. But they were both totally blown away when one of the major publishers they sent this thing to came back and said, "Not only will we absolutely print this book, but we'll also give you a $400,000 advance," which in today's money is $2.5 million. A massive, massive book deal by any standard. And so the young couple was totally thrilled. They took the book deal, the book got published, and with the money they got, they were able to move out of their double-wide trailer, and they were able to purchase a landline telephone. But that was only the beginning. Tabby's decision to pull that crumpled up piece of paper out of the trash can and force her husband to turn it into a novel would prove to be a good one, because her husband would go on to become arguably one of the most famous writers in the world. That story that Tabby saved from the trash can would go on to become the Arctic horror novel Carrie. Tabby's husband was none other than Stephen King.
Yo, what the fuck?
Oh my God.
Yo.
Wow.
And now is that not insane, bro?
I was so happy for whoever this was the entire
Stephen
time. I was like, oh my
motherfucking
gosh,
King.
I'm so happy. W husband, W wife. But oh my goodness,
Carrie?
Stephen King. Oh wow.
Carrie? Oh my
wow.
Bro, do y'all not understand? Like, Stephen King
Just imagine
is
if
a
this
goat.
man just imagine if this man gave up on his dreams.
Bruh.
It was like, I'm good, I'm just go teach. Which nothing. I'm just go, make money for the family. I'm not gonna follow my dreams, my actual dreams of what I want to do. Just imagine that,
bro. We don't have half of the shit.
Just imagine,
bro. We don't got it. The Shining, Shawshank Redemption, The Monkey, which we gotta still watch that. Stand by me. I'm like, bro, what the Green Mile?
Just looking at his catalog.
Misery. Bruh, Cujo. Oh my freaking gosh, bruh. Children of the Corn. Bro, a lot of this stuff I watched as a kid and I ain't had no business watching, bro. Damn, bro.
Just look at that. Just keep scrolling. Just look at that catalog, bro.
One of the greatest writers of all time, bro.
Just imagine, though. What in the world? I was not expecting that.
I wasn't expecting Stephen King. I wasn't expecting.
Whoever it was, I was happy for him. I was like, whoever it is, I'm happy for him. But I was not expecting it.
Most definitely. Bro. Oh my freaking gosh, bro. His range. His range.
Facts.
He has a motherfucking range, bro. I ain't gonna hold you. A lot of men, a lot of husbands. The main person, Tab. Her name was Tab. He kept saying Tabby. Mm-hmm. But her name is Tabitha. Mm-hmm. That's crazy, bro. And they've been together ever since.
He better.
They've been together ever since, bro. That, like, you know how insane that is, bro? Sometimes the person that at the end of the day is going to continue to encourage you. Like, a lot of people fail to realize, like, marriage and relationships, they hold, like, a deeper meaning. They hold something different. Mm-hmm. And sometimes it's that little simple encouragement that you get from your wife mm-hmm. that can change so much for you. And you got to think about it. Because I was wondering, I'm like, both of y'all are writers. Do y'all help each other out? Do y'all, like, run certain things across? Because that's what I was thinking in my head the whole time. I'm like, yeah. And just think about the scripts and the stories he's written mm-hmm. that people said no to. I wonder, did he go back and ever, like, rewrite those?
Rewrite them, make them better.
Yeah, and made them better, or use the concept.
Repitch them.
Yeah, and actually took. Because sometimes, honestly, people will say no to a lot of things, right? But once you made a hit out of something, you can go pitch them everything else, and they like, yes.
Under the Dawn was his TV show? Is that what I'm thinking about? Under the Dawn TV show.
Where do you see it?
Oh.
Probably is.
I was trying to see if it's the one we watched.
Yeah. That's the one I watched. Yeah.
Yeah.
I actually like based off best-selling novel. So he probably wrote like the book, but he probably did as far as even the TV series had.
Yeah. Okay.
But you got to think about, like, his wife told him not to give up, and look at him.
Or just that crumpled up piece of paper you felt like was nothing. You was just like, whatever, it's not good enough. Like, I'm having writer's block. I'm not really feeling it. It's just not connecting.
And she was like, no. Trash. One man's trash is another man's trash. His wife saw that he thought something was trash. She looked over.
She said, no, baby.
She said, this is
it right here.
This is your treasure.
This is what's about to take off.
You saw no value because you kept getting rejection. And sometimes that's all you need is your, y'all just don't understand how many times a lot of people will count you out, but your significant other will always say you got it. They would be the main person to bet on you out of family, friends, everybody saying, it ain't that good. Your wife like, nah, this it. I just need you like this the one.
Yeah.
Damn, bro. Damn, that was a good one, bro.
Yeah, that was good.
Stephen motherfucking King, bro.
Stephen King.
You got to think about all these, bro. Norm.
Yeah.
Just a friend. Like, you know how many friends be telling friends, like, just come out. And you be like, nah, I'm not going out, man.
No, I'm good. I'm just going to soak in my room. I'm mad. I'm just...
And you still mad. You just got drunk.
Mad. He got drunk. Made an announcement. Somebody heard it. And that's what he needed. You was like, I am the type of person, I always say this. I'm a firm believer that everything happens for a reason.
Facts.
Like, I say that all the time. And some people don't believe that. Some people feel like, that's not a thing. They don't believe in things like that. But I do feel like you are placed in certain places, certain situations at the right moment for a purpose.
Yes.
And
sometimes you got to say yes.
Yeah.
You know what? Like, sometimes, like, that because that was around when I ran into my professor that time. That was around the time I had lost my job, wasn't it?
Around the time, yeah.
And sometimes I do regret telling her no.
Yeah, you bring it up a lot.
Because I sometimes hold myself, because honestly, I feel like if I said, yeah, like, let me know. Like,
because my thing has always been like, if an opportunity presents itself, regardless of the fact that it's foreign to you, so sometimes it's out of fear people say no, or like the unknown territory, or whatever the case may be. And I'm like, but
it was the fear of the unknown.
But I'm like, you know that's a possibility, right? When you go into certain professions and certain opportunities may present itself, maybe in a different country, maybe in a different state, maybe wherever the case may be. But you have to know that that's an option, that that's something that may come about, and you have to be ready and willing to be like, yes, you know what I'm saying? Be like, okay with that.
Because who knows if I had said yes that day, where we would be right now.
Never know.
We wouldn't be. I say this because the opportunity was an opportunity to relocate from where we at and move out to Hollywood. So we would have had to up our where we was and move to LA. And the job opportunity was in the industry. It was an industry opportunity, and I knew the professor. She wasn't coming to me with no bull. She was coming to me with a real job opportunity. She said, I think you'll be perfect for it. And I just was like, nah. Because I had just moved you up here. And I was like, at the end of the day, I can't just uproot you again and move into something of the unknown. Like, as a man, I do have to, you know what I'm saying, think about, because I can't think about just myself.
I know this is the wrong place.
No, it's just conversation.
This. But I always tell you also, I always feel like you use me as an excuse. Nah. And I tell you that a lot.
It was me thinking, because like I said, like, it was me trying to be on like grown man time. And like I have responsibilities.
No,
at the
I
end
get
of the
that,
day.
but I do feel like a lot of times that you do use me as an excuse, and you can't continue to do that to
Cause just imagine where we possibly could be.
Yeah,
and we had went to.
I'm a firm believer everything happens for a reason. It is what it is. Yeah.
Sure, it is what it is. I'm happy where we
regardless of where we here. God got us. It really.
But I'm proud of how we like so far have we came, and I know we can, like we got a long ways to go. Like I know this ain't the end all. I know there's bigger things for us that's still in store.
Yeah.
So I don't like, but I do be like, man, what if I had to do like what? You never know, man.
We good.
But hey, man, y'all spam us up, man. If you can't get inspired by this, man, I don't know what. Like, these were 3 inspirational stories, bro.
I was not expecting
and the first one, Fred, bro, at the end of the day, always bet on yourself.
Always.
No matter what, all that 100%. He took $5,000.
His last 5.
And bet on his motherfucking self, and look at him. Got motherfucking FedEx. Damn.
Go ahead, Fred, with your bad self.
But hey, man, y'all spam us up in the comments, man. Let us know y'all thoughts and opinions about it for us in the comment section down below. But until next time, y'all know how it go, man. I do go by the name DJ New Kid and C.
Sierra Nicole.
We are.
Kid and C.
We are.
Ain't no time to kick it. Got a stack of flip for my foes. Dollar. Please tell me you can hear me. Don't turn your back and don't neglect me. Just let me know if you need me. Dollar. Let me watch out for my partners. Keep my money low, get my team strong. Let me run away from